Congressman Troy Carter on the hotline with us this morning. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, sir. How are you today?
Doing very well as well. Are you in town or are you up in D.C.?
I'm in D.C.
No, I was asking because there's, and I know, I'm pretty sure your office put out a statement as well, because there's a pretty big funeral about to go on literally in the building next door to us this morning for State Senator Larry Selders.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I released a statement, and I also have staff there presenting a letter of condolence on my behalf. Baton Rouge and the states lost a great leader. He was a husband, a father, dedicated father. In fact, unfortunately, was at his kids' football practice when he collapsed with a massive heart attack.
Yeah, I know. It just everyone who's a dad, I think probably when you hear about that, you take into account not just losing the man, but losing that connection, losing that relationship too. It just and I'd only had the opportunity to meet him 2 or 3 times, but every time I met him, he's one of those guys you just gravitate towards.
Yeah, just a nice guy. I was in the Senate when he was in the House. We had a chance to serve together for a little while. Just a really pleasant human being, one of those guys that, regardless of what the issue is or was, just a decent human being, someone that you enjoyed being around.
No, absolutely, and he will be sorely missed. We've got Congressman Troy Carter with us. This is DC Current, presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Of course, you can learn more about your state's Chamber of Commerce by visiting labi.org. Let's pivot over to some business on Capitol Hill, if we could. This is one that I think you're going to have a lot of folks on both sides of the aisle really, really happy that it's become law. Talking about the 21st Century Housing Act. Tell me all about it. And a little bit about the path that it took to get there.
Well, this is one that one of those rare occasions where you have overwhelming support in both chambers, in both parties. Mm-hmm. Congress came together and passed one of the most significant housing reform packages in decades, even going back as far as LBJ. This is one of those issues that is so important, and it is a measure that will help home buyers across the country. We know that safe, stable, and affordable housing is the foundation of America's success. But we have to make sure that we're protecting it, that we're not having these venture capitalists buying up whole neighborhoods. You will identify with this if for people out there, if you own a piece of land, if you own more than one piece of land, if you have a rental property, you probably get a phone call every day. Are you interested in selling that property? Sometimes even your primary residence, you get these blanket phone calls or text messages from people trying to buy your property. These are venture capitalist groups that are trying to come in and buy up entire neighborhoods.
Right.
Well, this is one measure that will block that. It's a measure that will make home ownership more affordable. It will create opportunities for people to become homeowners, and it's a uber bipartisan measure, fighting to lower cost and make your tax dollars and your life a lot better. This 21st Century Road to Housing Act is one of the most significant pieces of legislation, and it's unfortunate that our president would not sign it into law, although he had committed to doing so. He
pushed for it. That's the part that I know.
And then committed to doing so, and then when an attempt to tie one of his other measures to it wouldn't go, he refused to sign it. And but it's law. It's law now, and it's one of those moments that we can demonstrate to the American people when we want to. We can work together. When we want to, we can advance measures that's good for all Americans, not just some. When we want to, we don't have to play the racial or the party divide that often plagues government bodies. When we choose to, and I hope we choose a whole lot more of it, we can work together, notwithstanding our philosophical differences, and still work for the American people.
We got Congressman Troy Carter with us. And Congressman, I completely agree. And this was one that the president pushed for very, very heavily on the front end. And walk us through why, when the Blackstones of the world or the Home Partners of America of the world, when you see those venture capitalists or private equity get involved, why is it detrimental? Because it's the same number of homes that are on the market, but why is it detrimental to the market?
Well, because what happens is they buy them up in bulk,
Mm-hmm.
and then they control whole neighborhoods. They buy them up, and there various different things that can be done. They can price you out of the marketplace. They can create neighborhoods that they attempt to then have rezoned for commercial and take away residential quality. They can create more opportunities for undue disadvantages with Airbnb versus residential quality. I mean, there's a whole host of things that makes it very difficult, not to mention to impact the market where they can, when you control the market, you can control the price of the market. And so now you move home ownership out of reach of the average American. And what we really want to do is we want to make sure that every American, regardless of your race or zip code or even income, have an opportunity to own a home. We know empirically that in most cases it is cheaper to own a home than it is to rent.
Yes.
But the difference becomes two things: creditworthiness and the ability to come up with a down payment. If we can overcome those hurdles, we can create home ownership, which is singularly perhaps one of the most significant investments a person will make in their life. And it is an asset that they get to leave behind to their children or loved ones. And what that does is that creates generational wealth.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if your nursing education felt as real as the job itself? At West Coast University Miami, you'll train in simulation labs designed to mirror real healthcare environments. West Coast University Miami, as real as it gets. Visit westcoastuniversity.edu to take the first step. WCU cannot guarantee employment.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Yes, it is cheaper to own a home than it is to rent. The problem is it is cheaper to sign a lease than it is to make the purchase. That's the rub right there, and this is very well explained.
It's the down payment.
Yeah,
and the fallacy of the falseness of credit reporting. If I can afford to pay $2,000 in rent, I can damn sure afford to pay $700 in a house note.
right.
Right? But it's like, no, sorry, you've been paying rent for $2,000 a month for the last 10 years, but we don't think you can afford to pay $700 to own your home. That makes no sense.
Now, this is not as big of a problem as in Louisiana as it is in some places in the nation. Although, if I remember running the numbers on it, in Louisiana, we're looking at about 15% of home purchases per year fall into the hands of those private equity companies, fall into the hands of those venture capitalists. So it's not an overwhelming, backbreaking problem in Louisiana, but it is still on our radar.
Well, sure, and if it's unchecked, it'll get worse.
Well, of course.
I mean, let me tell you get these phone calls every day. I mean, they're unrelentless.
Yeah.
And then you block that one, and then another one calls. It's like they're on a rapid dial that they're just one after another. They're spitting them out all day long, and I guess people who are strapped for cash or don't know the value of their property. Someone comes and says they'll give you cash, and you sell out the family home, and then you realize the cash is gone, and now your homestead is gone, and that asset that means so much to your family and your family's wealth is gone too. So this goes a long way to protect home buyers existing, but also the opportunity for people who want to become home buyers. Listen, I'm very proud of this measure, very proud that we were able to do it all together, which, again, should give some hope to the American people that when we decide to do it, we can do a lot better job at working together for their benefit.
Talk with Congressman Troy Carter. Got about 3 minutes left. I do want to shift gears to talk about Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. You and I, Congressman, every opportunity we get to talk mental health, I'm going to take advantage of it. And I saw you on Twitter, was this a couple days ago on Twitter, posting up about mental health challenges affecting everyone. Talk to me a little bit about, talk to me a little bit about the challenges faced in minority communities specifically.
Well, the biggest one is this notion that big boys don't cry. That, oh no, if you talk about mental health, someone's going to say you're crazy. And that is multiplied. I think it's across the board in all races, but I think it's even greater in communities of color because, we've been taught this machismo, suck it up. Suck it up. You can handle it. Big boys don't cry. Come on, man up.
Man up.
No, you need to man up. You need to open up, right? And open up and admit that something bothers you, that you're having a challenge, that you're depressed, you've got anxiety, you've got issues that can be helped, they can be corrected, they can be modified, but unchecked, they'll only get worse. And so during this time, my co-lead in a bipartisan fashion is Republican member Rich McCormick, who is my co-chair in the mental health space, is pushing for the exercise of awareness. Talk about it, accept it, and fix it. But the notion that you can stick your head in the sand and your mental health issue will go away, one of the most important things that we'll say today is to the listeners out there, you are not alone. You are not alone. If you're contemplating suicide, if you're depressed, you just don't want to get out of bed in the morning, you're not alone. But you're not without help. Right. Dial 988. There's a 24-hour person line that you can call any time of the day when you're contemplating hurting yourself or hurting someone else, or you just need somebody to talk to direct you to some resources. There's no fee involved. No one will trace your line. It's totally anonymous. You don't have to give any personal information, but they will be there to talk to you. And it speaks to the mental health awareness that we want to continue to work with. I've got a bill that is co-authored with Rich McCormick, is the Mental Health Workforce Act, which addresses mental health workforce shortages and urgent need for diversity among mental health providers in the United States. This bill would give us an opportunity to have tuition assistance for people who study and go into these spaces to make sure that we have competent professionals to address the growing need of mental health in our community.
He is Congressman Troy Carter. We visit about this time every single week. We always appreciate the time, sir. Looking forward to talking next week.
God bless you, my friend. Have a fantastic week.
You do the same, Congressman Troy Carter.